Okay, so now we're going to work on the workbook page together. You should have page 231 out on your desk or your table or your bed or your whatever you do. You could be sitting there in your pajamas and I wouldn't even know. It's kind of cool, isn't it? Okay, so this is the workbook page that we're going to do. Like always, this was the explanation that I kind of already went over. In fact, I even used their example problem right here. So if you're confused, look at this or have your parents look at this. And like I said, if you still don't understand, text me and I will do what we need to do. Yeah. Okay, so let's get the class practice. You know I don't like to start with story problems, so go down to section 2. And then all of this, wow, look at that. All of this you know how to do. You know how to do this one. We did this one once before. This is a mixed number divided by a fraction. Just turn that upside down. Do the backward C. You know how to do this one. Fraction by a fraction, whole number by a fraction. Those are all the review ways that we've done it. Today's new way was the fraction divided by a whole number. Okay? I'm going to blow this one up a little bit bigger so you can see it, hopefully. I can't really see what I'm doing over on your screen. Can we see that? Oh, sure. I'm trying to get it out of that glare. Okay, 4/5 divided by 11. Okay, so we're going to do our work down here. 4/5. Instead of divided, we're going to times by flipping this over. And this is technically sitting there as 11 whole pizzas. So we're going to flip it upside down and make it 1/11 instead of 11/1, right? We can't cancel. Like I told you, I didn't think we'd be able to on a lot of these. So then we just multiply across. 4 times 1 is 4. 5 times 11 is 55. If you can reduce it, you need to reduce it. Can we? It's not two even numbers. And 4 only is divisible by 2 and 4. Can 2 or 4 divide into 55? No. Don't forget, when we're reducing fractions, we divide the top number and the bottom number by the same number. Remember how we did that? So if you can make both of them divide by a number, then you're good. If not, then you need to reduce. But if not, then you're done. Okay, it's at lowest terms. Okay, let's look at that next one. See if we have to reduce this one. A lot of times the first day when you're starting something new, they do them so that you don't have to reduce, but we'll see. And if you're canceling, you shouldn't have to reduce anyway. All right, 7/8 divided by 6. So rewrite it, 7/8, change this to times. This technically, think that this is technically 6/1, right? This is 6 whole pizzas, so they're in one piece. 6 whole pizzas. Flip it upside down. Instead of 6/1, it's going to be 1/6. Can't cancel, so we multiply across. 7 times 1 is 7. 8 times 6 is 48. 7 is a prime number, can only be divided by 7. Can you divide 7 into 48? Just misses by one number. 49 would be 7 times 7. So we're done. 7/48. And we didn't have to cancel, so that makes sense. Usually the only reason you'd have to reduce here is if you don't cancel it properly. And it's fine. Either way, works, right? Okay, so that's today's lesson. Let's just, for those of you that might be a little bit rusty, let's just do the first one of each of these, as we often do. And then that way you guys can do the rest. And yes, you can still skip greens. I'm just going to do the first part of each section. So let's look at F. Okay, this time it's a whole number divided by a fraction. This is not in focus very well. Okay, so 5/1, that's 5 whole pizzas, times, turn it upside down, so we end up 5/1 times 5. If you took 5 apples, divided every one of them into 5 pieces, you'd end up with 25 pieces, right? Okay, and then the next one, K, is dividing a fraction by a fraction. 3/4 is the dividend. 3/4 times flip that upside down. 6 over 7 becomes 7 over 6. This way we can cancel. 3 and 6 cross cancel. We call this cross canceling. We divide both numbers by the same number, right? So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So ignore those numbers. We can't cancel this. Nothing goes into both of those. That's the same number. So now take the top number. We cross this out. This is no longer a 3, it's a 1. 1 times 7 is 7. 4 times 2 is 8. Can that be reduced? Nope. So we are done. 7/8. We did our pre-reducing. If we hadn't, it would have been 21/24, which could both be divided by 7, right? No, 3. I'm sorry, 3. And you'd still end up with 7/8. So no matter how you do that, we end up with 7/8. Either we pre-reduce by cross-canceling or reduce it when you're done. All right, and then this one we've done before as well. We're going to do the backward C. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 1 is 9. It's already cut into eighths. That doesn't change. 9/8 times, flip this upside down, 4/3. Can we cancel? Absolutely. Both of these can be divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 8 and 4 can both be divided by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. Are we done? No. Can this be reduced? No, because there's only one number away. But this is halves, and you have more than one whole pizza because it only takes 2 halves to make a whole, right? So this is called a what? An improper fraction, right? So you remember with the improper fraction, you divide the top number by the bottom number, write the remainder as a fraction, okay? So we're going to divide 3 by 2. You can do that in your head, a lot of you, but if you need to, you can do it this way too. Okay, remember always the divisor is the denominator. The divisor is the denominator. The divisor is the denominator. Okay, it's cut into 2 pieces. So how many halves are in this? 2 goes into 3 one time. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. The remainder as a fraction. This one's the divisor is the denominator. And you've got 1/2 left. So 3 halves equals 1 1/2, which is our answer. Do you see? Okay, I know I'm re-explaining a lot of stuff. You probably are like, I know how to do this. Why is she going over all this? I don't usually anymore because you guys know it. But if I've got parents that are watching this that are trying to help you, then I wanted to kind of explain a little bit more. So each day I may not go over quite as much as I did today. But that's pretty much it. Let's look at the rest of your page. The whole front of it is dividing and very easy, and you don't even have to do the last ones because they're green. Then on the back, we have, there it is, we have changing to decimals. Okay, remember there's 1 0. That means there's 1, can you see, you can't see the tenths, hundredths, and thousands that's up here anymore. 1 0 means 1 decimal place, so that's 0.9. 3 zeros means 3 decimal places, so you got to annex a 0 in the front. Okay, and then like I said, once you finish it, look at it. Say, oh, I know most of you know I have 3 zeros, I need 3 decimal places, so a lot of you are just going to go like this. And don't be happy with your answer. Stop and read it. Cover this up, okay, and say, read that. 530, I know you can barely see that. 530 thousandths. Let's see if you can see over here. Okay, we have tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Okay, 3 of them mean thousands. 530 thousandths. Is that what they asked you to write? No, they asked you to write 53 thousandths. So you know, oh, the zero's in the wrong place. So come back over here, put the 0 in the right place, cover it up again, and read it. Now it says 53 thousandths. Take off your hand, 53 thousandths, bingo. How long did that take me? A few extra seconds. And I got the right answer. And I'll get the right answer on the test now because I've been double checking. So double check your answers. Remember how we do that. Then the next section says to change to fractions. Okay, same thing. Read it. We're better at reading than we are at writing them. 9 hundredths. So you write 9 hundredths. Okay, and if they can be reduced, remember, for the rest of the year, for the rest of your lives, you have to reduce. Can that be reduced? No. But this one over here, 125 thousandths, 125, 1, 2, 3 means 3 decimal places. 125 thousandths, it ends in a 5 and a 0. That tells us it's reducible or divisible by 5, remember? So divide both of those by 5. Or remember, I told you also you can divide them by quarters, 25s, if you know how to do that. Think of this as $10 and this is $1.25. How many quarters would be there? I like quarters. I like to do it that way. But if that's too much, then just divide it by 5, but then you'll just end up having to divide it twice by 5. Anyway, if it ends with a 5 and a 0, you know you can still reduce it. Okay, then the next section is to circle the greater one. Don't just guess. We never just guess. We need to know which one is which. This one, remember I said always look at the whole numbers first, because we know what whole numbers are. Is 1 or 2 bigger? Hello, 2 is bigger. But let's say that this one, this is a good example for this. Let's say that that one was a 1 also. So 1.61 or 1.6. Okay, then it's like who runs out of energy first? They both have a 1, they both have 6/10, and this one runs out. And this one still has one more piece. He has a 1/100th. So you know he is bigger. You could also even make it look like 161 and 160 if you wanted to annex a 0 there. Remember we said that's another way to know. So many ways to get the right answer. Remember we got married. Oh, who was it that got married? Casey and somebody? Whoever got married, we made them both have the same name. So this is 61/100th. This is 6/10. If we give this one a ring, like a wedding ring, and now they're married, now they both have the same last name. So now it's 161, Mr. 161 thousandths, or excuse me, 1 and 61/100ths, and 2 and 60/100ths. And then, like I said, you can almost just pretend that they're whole numbers. Which one's bigger, 161 or 260? Or 1 and 61/100ths, or, okay, we had changed this, remember? 1 and 61/100ths or 1 and 60/100ths. Okay, so every time you guys do this, you should know, not just guess, know why it is. Remember the liter in the quart? Remember that the liter just barely beats the quart. A liter is 1.05 quarts. Barely wins. These two, this is a Roman numeral. Meter or yard, remember this time we win. Or no. Sorry, they win both of those. I forgot. Meters and liters are both bigger. It's the miles that we win in. Okay, and then the rest of that should be pretty self-explanatory. You have some division problems to do and check. Then you have a bunch of review on multiplication of decimals. Don't forget to add up the number of decimal places, but you keep your columns straight with addition and subtraction. Don't forget to do it that way. And then at the bottom, remember I taught you, that's been a while since we've been in here, so you might not remember very well, but I told you how to, oh, you have an algebra question. Sorry. Okay. And if you have your orange folder, you should have the directions to that if you've forgotten how to do that. Or in the back of your math book, or your math folder actually, it should tell you how to do that as well. And then when it says work quickly, that means, oh, there must be something really easy with this. Remember what I said? That a fraction is a division problem. So you just put 1 times 16 is 16 divided by 4. So all you do is put the 16 in the place of the 1, because this is divided by 4. Remember? So it's 16 divided by 4. 32 divided by 4. 8 divided by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Easy peasy, lubin squeezy. And then you're adding. And remember how I said to do this? 1/2 and 1/2, that's easy, 1. But think of these, let's see, I about forgot myself. Think of what half would be in this denominator. So in fourths, how much is half? 2/4 is half, right? So think of this in your head as what is that in halves? Okay, 2/4. For fourths, it's 2/4. So 2/4 plus 1/4 is 3/4. Okay, what is half in sixths? 3/6. Or you could do it this way: 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. So many ways to get to our answers. 3/6 plus 1/6 is 4/6. How much is half in eighths? 4/8, right? So 4/8 plus 1/8 is 5/8. That's just all what you need to finish. Every time figure out what that is in halves. It's just always half of what it is. Half of 10 is 5. 5/10 is half. Half of 12 is 6. 6/12 is half. Half of 14 is 7. 7/14 is half. Or if you're like, what, Mrs. Meyer, I don't understand what you're saying. Then do it this way. You're going to put this one into tenths. Remember how when we have to add, can you guys see that? That says half. Okay, 1/2 equals how many tenths? We do 2 times 5 is 10. How do we get from here to here? 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 5 is 5. So 5/10 is half. 14ths. What's half in 14ths? Do your equivalent fractions. 2, can you still see this? 2 times what is 14? 7. So 1 times 7 is 7. 7/14 is half. 7/14 plus 1/14 is 8/14. And this one, they're both even numbers. So what does that mean? Uh-oh, and I left one over here that I should not have left too. Did you guys catch it? I bet you did. 4, 6 they're both even numbers, so they can both be divided by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so that should be 2/3, not 4/6, because you have to reduce for the rest of your lives. These are both divisible by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 14 divided by 2 is 7, so this is 4/7. And you don't have to erase it, you can just put it in there, that's fine. Okay, and that's the bottom of your page. So like I said, I went over a little bit more stuff than I normally do because it's been a while for one thing and you may have forgotten some of it, but also so if parents are watching this to try to help you, they'll kind of know what process we go through. And if you have questions or don't understand everything, again, ask parents or an older brother or sister that have been to Sunrise can probably help you. And haven't been to Sunrise might still be able to help you. And then if you guys still can't figure it out, then text me first so that I can get prepared and ready for you, because if I'm driving I can't help you, but if I'm sitting in my classroom or if I'm sitting at home, I can grab my books and see what you're looking at. Okay, so I'm here to help you. We're gonna do this stuff together. Parents are just monitoring. They're just kind of keeping track of you, making sure you're doing what you need to, and they're there to help you because I'm not readily right there available to help you, but I can be able to help you. If you text me, we can either FaceTime or just talk on the phone, one or the other, and we'll figure it out. You guys are super smart. I don't think you're going to have any trouble with this at all. I think it's kind of fun. You get to stay home, you get to work in your pajamas, and stay safe. That's the most important thing. We want to stay safe. So have fun. See you tomorrow.